Hello my dear learners, welcome to my fifth lecture on additive manufacturing. In this session, I will be explaining about powder bed sintering and sheet lamination methods of additive manufacturing. A brief introduction about me. I am Shamant, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering at Global Academy of Technology. So if you have not seen my other lectures on additive manufacturing, please click on this cards which is being shown on top right corner of your screen, which will guide you to my previous lectures, and you can see my previous lecture and understand what are the other topics that I have been discussed. So let us start today's session and we'll learn about powder bed sintering and sheet lamination methods. Powder bed sintering techniques. The powder bed sintering technique is also called as powder bed fusion process. It is also called as powder bed fusion process. The main principle on which it works is on the principle of hardening the powders by heating. So it hardens the powder by heating. Say for example, you have taken a metal powder and you have spread it on a build platform. And once you have spread it on a build platform, if the principle of this particular technique is hardening the powders, then it is very much understood that you need to have a heat source. So it mainly consists of a heat source to fuse the material, and then there should be a method to control this heat, whatever is being supplied, and also a mechanism to add new layers of material. So for a heat source to generate the heat and then fuse the material, there might be a thermal printhead or a laser source, or there can be other methods such as electron beam, which passes the beam and then from that heat is generated to fuse the material. That is one of the important part of the powder bed sintering technique. And then a method to control this heat. So generally you can see a scanning system or a reflector, so which is actually used to control the heat whatever is generating by the source, whatever you have used. It might be a thermal printhead, it might be a laser or an electron beam. You can actually regulate the heat from which it is being generated. And then a mechanism to add a new layers. So you will have a recoater or a blade to add new material layer by layer once the material is fused by the help of a thermal printhead or a heat source. There are various additive manufacturing machines which uses this principle of powder bed fusion process, but they all vary in the method of heating, type of the material used, and also the build environment. Some of the different types of the powder bed fusion process which are used in this particular technique is electron beam melting process, direct metal laser sintering process, selective heat sintering process, we call it as SHS, and then selective laser melting SLM, and then selective laser sintering. So in this particular category, as I told you, as I listed, there are so many processes that can be done. They all depend on the method of heating the material, whatever you have spread, and also the type of material that you are using. In this particular category, I am explaining it to you selective laser sintering, which will make you understand about the process that is followed in powder bed sintering techniques, and all the other types also have the same process, but they all vary in the method it is carried out. So let us discuss now about the process steps that is involved in powder bed sintering techniques. So I have taken selective laser sintering method for explaining this particular technique, and the steps involve like this. The build material in the form of powders are placed in a hopper adjacent to the build platform. So you need to take the material in the form of powders and you have to keep it in a container that is just adjacent to the build platform. If this is the build chamber, this is a build chamber, and then you have a hopper here. So this is the powder feed supply chamber wherein the material is completely filled. What is the amount of material that you require is completely filled, and even this has a piston arrangement. Okay, the build platform can be moved up and down depending on how much material you need to spread it on the build platform so that the layer is added upon each layers. And then you have one more container here. Whatever the unused powders are there in each and every layer, that is spreaded by the layer, that is the recoater, and then it is collected in this particular bin. So that is the use of having two bins, where in one bin you have the material which is contained, which is required to be spreaded over the build platform, and the other bin collects the unused powder which is not used in the particular layer addition. So after that, a layer typically which is 0.1 mm thick of the material is spread over the build platform either by rollers or blades. So generally we call this as a leveling roller. You might have a leveling roller or you can have leveling blades. Both are one and the same, they perform the same function itself. Then you have a heat source. The heat source can be thermal printhead, a laser or an electron beam which fuses the first layer of the material. So you can see here the laser being directed onto the build platform. So here once you have generated a 3D CAD model and then you have transferred it to the additive manufacturing machine, it understands what is the coordinates that the laser should be directed on the build platform so that the part can be built. So it is selectively depositing the layer, that is the laser light, in a particular area. The entire area will not be deposited by the laser or the heat source. You can select it where exactly the laser has to be fallen so that the entire part will be built layer by layer. And then once the first layer is completed, a new layer of powder is spread across the previous layer using a roller. So a roller comes into picture and then it spreads the new layer of the powder. So when it spreads the new layer of the powder, this bin which is containing the material powder which has to be spread, it just rises upwards to 1.1 mm thickness, okay, or the movement of that in upward direction is 0.1 mm. That is how you can say. When that enters, the roller starts to spread the material whatever has been raised up. Further layers are fused and added. Process repeats until the entire model is created. So the laser is directed each and every layer, and when the laser falls on that particular area where the model has to be created, the material which has been spreaded on the build platform, it gets fused and it gets bonded together layer by layer. And once the last layer is spreaded and then fused, the part is removed from the build platform, and unused powder whichever is remaining in position is removed during the post processing process. You can see here the construction of the powder bed sintering techniques. You have three bins, two bins for collecting the material powder, one for spreading the powder, one for collecting the unused powder, and then you have a build platform here at the center, and this build platform is having the direction of, that is the downward direction. It has the motion of downward direction which moves one layer down after every layer. After it has been fused, it just moves 0.1 mm thick downwards, and then the layer is added once again. So this is how the powder bed sintering technique works, and since it is a powder bed fusion process, the material gets heated up and then it gets fused together. Whereas we discussed one more process in the previously, that is material jetting as well as binder jetting. In binder jetting process, after the material powders are spread, the glue comes and it is deposited over the powder and it gets binded because of the glue. But here it is getting fused because of the heat source. You need to understand the difference between this particular technique as well as the binder jetting technique. So every technique whatever we are discussing here is different altogether in the way it is being performed. So now let us see a small video wherein you can see how exactly the powder bed sintering technique is carried out. You can see the roller being spreading these powders, and then the platform going up and down, and then the laser being directed onto the area where you have to create the part. We'll see the video now. So you can see a mirror which is focusing the laser beam onto the part which has to be produced layer by layer. That is the part geometry that is being built. This is the build platform, and you have a container here which contains the material powder as well as the bin with to collect the extra powder. See the roller being spreaded. This is the collection container, and so that is how the process actually happens. So once that is done, the next layer starts to be added and then the process carries out. So the major advantages, disadvantages and applications of this particular process, that is powder bed fusion process or powder bed sintering process, is one of the advantages that it is relatively inexpensive since we are using material powders, and most of the powders can be used and unused powders are again recycled back. So that is why we call it as inexpensive. The material wastage here is very lesser compared to other process. It is suitable for visual models and prototypes. What are visual models? So visual models are those models which are created just to understand how a part looks before it is being sent into the production. And then prototypes. Prototypes are just a replica of the final product which has to be used for a specific application. So the next advantage is that the powder acts as an integrated support structure and hence no additional support is required. Very much important advantage, because here the powder itself, which is present in the build platform, it acts as the support structure for the part which is being built. You need not add any other additional support. If at all you want to add additional support, then it would take a lot of material to create the additional support, as well as it will be little difficult to monitor the process also. So in order to that, if you compare, this process needs no additional support, which is a very good thing. The disadvantages are the speed of the process is very slow and it consumes lot of power. So because of the thermal source that you are using, which is used to fuse the materials, a lot of power is required and which actually consumes lot of electricity. So that is one of the disadvantages that this process has. The process has limitations of the size. So size limitation is one of the disadvantages. And then the quality and surface finish always depends on the powder grain size. So always you need to understand, whenever you are performing the process like binder jetting process or powder bed sintering process, the finish of the product depends on the powder grain size. I talked about the parameters in the previous lectures. So when I talked about the parameters, you can understand that the resolution depends on the layer thickness. Here the resolution depends on the powder grain size. If the powder grain size is very small, then the resolution will be very good. And if it is very higher, if the powder grain size is higher, then the resolution will be different. And also there are some other characteristics like porosity. They all comes into picture, and it increases the voids between two particles. Finally, it is a disadvantage to a product which is being manufactured, and the life of the product also will not be very higher. That is about the disadvantages, and we'll see the applications of the particular process. One is it is used for producing automotive hardwares, wind tunnel models, and then it is widely used in aerospace, military applications, medical and electronic hardware. So powder bed sintering techniques can be used in all these areas where they produce the products, and it can be used for the functional application. These are a couple of images that I have taken from the internet just to show you what are the different parts that can be manufactured using powder bed sintering techniques. So this is all about powder bed sintering techniques. Hope you have understood. In my next slide, I'll be going on to explain about the other process. The next process that we will be understanding is sheet lamination. All this while, we have understood about the additive manufacturing process, which used the materials as the main component, and then it used either a binder particles or a heat source to fuse the materials together to form layers of material and then finished the particular product. But in this method, we'll be understanding how the process is carried out with the help of sheets. So sheet, when I tell you, it is nothing but stacking the layers of sheet as well as the papers. So once that is stacked, it uses adhesives to fuse the layers of sheets together, or it can also perform welding so that the materials is fused together. So this process is called as sheet lamination. Some of them call it as laminated object manufacturing as well. And if the adhesives are used, this is called as sheet lamination. If you perform welding operation to fuse two materials together, then it is called as ultrasonic additive manufacturing, just because their sheets of the material are used. If you are using sheets of paper, then it can be called as sheet lamination. If you are using sheets of metal or any other material, then you call it as ultrasonic additive manufacturing, because the layers are fused together by the process of welding. So this is a process in which solid physical model is made by stacking layers of sheet. So this machine consists a spool of sheet which is actually rolled in a roller, and one serves as an input, the other roller serves as collecting excess material after it is been cut. Okay, and when the roller rotates, the sheet comes in contact, or it is placed on the build platform, and once it is placed on the build platform, here there is a source which is used to cut the material whatever has been placed on the build platform. So sheet, you can imagine, it has very less thickness, and any source can be utilized. You can use some of the cutting tools as well, or you can use any sources such as laser, which comes in contact with that particular build platform and removes the material which is not required apart from the geometry that you have to print. So this AM machine consists of a sheet supplied from material spool, a build platform, and cutting mechanism. As I explained you, this is a sheet. One roller contains sheets, the other roller is used to roll the excess sheet what is remaining after the cutting happens. The sheets are bonded either by adhesives or by welding in case of metals. So sheet lamination process has two variants: laminated object manufacturing as well as ultrasonic additive manufacturing. So these are two variants of sheet lamination process. So here we are discussing laminated object manufacturing. If you want more knowledge on what is ultrasonic additive manufacturing, go and surf the net so that you will understand what is ultrasonic additive manufacturing and how exactly the welding process happens when the two layers of material is fused. So this is about the construction part of sheet lamination. It has to consist of a material spool to supply onto the build platform and a cutting mechanism to remove the excess material apart from the geometry what you are printing. Now let us understand the steps involved in sheet lamination method. The steps whatever I am telling, it is same for either the laminated object manufacturing or the ultrasonic additive manufacturing. It remains the same. You can see a more clear figure here. It is a 2D diagram of the figure which is shown. You have a material spool. So this is the material spool from which the paper or the sheets are being supplied. You have two pulleys so that the sheet is wound over the pulley, and then it is placed on the build platform. This is the build platform here. This is a build platform, and then you have a source being supplied so that when it comes in contact with the sheet, the geometry is made to remain in that particular position, and then other excess material is cut or removed, and then it is sent back to the other material spool which wounds the removed material. So that is how the process takes place. We'll see what is the step-by-step process of this particular technique. So during this process, the sheet along with adhesive is positioned in place on the build platform. So the sheet is smeared with the adhesive, and that sheet which is smeared with adhesive is placed on the build platform. And once it is placed on the build platform, laser is employed to cut the required shape from the sheet. So laser is employed to cut the required shape from the sheet to form a first layer of the product. Once this happens, the build platform just moves downwards in one layer thickness. Okay, the dimension on which it moves is dependent on the layer thickness of the sheet that you are using. On further rotation of the spool, second layer of the material is positioned on top of the first layer, and after this the laser again comes in contact with the sheet what has been placed over the first layer, and then it cuts the geometry of the required part, and then the other uncut region is wound by the unused material spool. The material is bonded in place over the previous layer using the adhesive and the heated roller. So there is a roller which actually rolls over the layers of the sheet whatever has been adhesive. Okay, you should have added adhesive, and then once you roll the roller, what happens? The two layers merges together. The required shape is then cut from the layer by laser. Process continues until the required thickness is obtained. So generally, when you have to make some visual models using a sheet or a paper or very thin metals, then you can go for this particular process. So here is a video, small video showing how exactly the sheet lamination process occurs. We'll see this video. So you can just see the video of this particular process. Laser coming in contact with the sheet which is being spread over the build platform. So that is cutting the sheet according to the requirement, and then the roller is spread. So the second layer of sheet has been added, and once that is added, again the source comes into the picture, and then it just winds all the material. So this is how the process happens. This is all about sheet metal lamination. We have to see now what are the advantages, disadvantages, and the applications of this particular process. So the major advantage of this process is it is faster and economical, because you are using very less expensive material, that is in the form of sheet. It might be paper, or it might be any other thin metals that can be used. Strength of the arts depends on the type of bonding between the sheet laminates. So again, adhesive, whatever the adhesive you use is very important. So what type of adhesive you are using, it depends on the strength of the part. So how much strength of the part is required. This process does not induce residual stresses in the finished product. Since you are using the material which is very thin, it does not induce any residual stresses. So that is one of the advantage. The disadvantage of this particular process is it requires post-processing to achieve the desired effect. Without post-processing, you might not get a desired output. Then the limited material use. So you can only use either sheets of paper or the material which is very thin. Other materials cannot be used for this particular process. And then the bonding of sheet laminates require further research. Further research has to be made on the bonding of the sheet laminates. Some of the applications of this process is it finds its application in precise patterns for secondary tooling process, in creating the precise patterns for secondary tooling process. Then it finds its application in limited testing and then visual models. Here are two images which is actually manufactured using sheet lamination method. Here you can see a part which is being manufactured using a particular metal. It might be a fiber or some other sheet, whatever has been used, and here it is completely made out of sheet. So this is all about the sheet lamination method. Hope you have understood both the process that has been explained in this session. Continue to watch my lectures. So in my next session, I will be explaining about the remaining process of additive manufacturing methods. So today, in brief, if I want to tell, you have understood about the sheet lamination method as well as the selective laser sintering method, that is powder bed fusion techniques. So you have understood how the principle of the process, and then the process steps, and also the advantages, disadvantages, and its application. For a mechanical engineer who is looking to be to make a career out of the engineering degree, whatever you have got, you have to look into this particular technology and understand each and every depth of this particular domain, so that you can become a very good additive manufacturing engineer, wherein you can have all the understanding about the machine setup as well as the process that has to be chosen for a specific application. All those you can just understand. So thanks for watching this video lecture. If you like this video lecture, do like and comment in the comment section. If you are new to this particular channel, and then if you are viewing this for the first time, do like my channel and subscribe to my channel. You can just click this icon and subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot for watching.